Hello and welcome to a slightly unscheduled KSP video. As you might have noticed, I'm missing a wing and still flying. So yeah, it's one of those videos. It's one of those videos where I do something really stupid and kind of impossible, but let's see if I can get away with it anyhow. First of all, I'm going to turn down the engines because I don't think we should be going this fast, and I believe that's going to be a problem for this craft landing. Let's see what happens if I activate... What was that noise? Hold on, let's see what happens if I activate that. Looks like activating that spoiler has kept us fairly stable. Alright. We are pitching a little to the left, or rolling a little to the left on our own. Or yawing to the left, rather. The pitch is keeping us pretty much steady. See, I'm trying to avoid making large maneuvers because we are severely damaged, and I'd like to get back over land to, you know, land, but we're pretty much heading towards the island runway. I might want to go ahead and try to land on the island runway instead of back on the mainland. This, if you look at it, this design might look slightly familiar in that it's similar to an F-14. It's not quite an F-14. It's a bit too... It doesn't have a dual-person cockpit. It's a bit too short, I believe. It's a bit too short, and the wings don't move. I'll get to why that is in a minute, but the main thing that this was built for is to demonstrate making... No, not stabilators. No, stabilators are these. These right here are stabilators. They're tail fins, but they're stabilators, because a stabilator is an all-moving tail surface, basically. And this thing is turning on its own, so I'm going to try and pitch back this way a bit. Woo! Yeah, see, the problem is if I try to pitch too much, that wing gets way too much lift, and we start having some serious issues. Alright, I'm going to take the engines down even lower and see if we can still maintain stable flight with the engines lower. It's kind of stable, but not quite there. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the aerodynamic display and just kind of fly it like this. So, one thing, it's called a spoileron, yeah, because it's effectively a spoiler and an aileron in one control surface. You might notice these other control surfaces on the wing are completely inactive, but this is responding to roll input. And basically, because what happens is if you induce drag on one side, on one wing, and cut out its lift, it's not so much about the drag. In fact, the drag is a problem, but if you cut out the lift on one side, we need to increase our engines, actually, and climb a little bit because we're too low, unfortunately. But yeah, as I was trying to say, if you cut the lift on one wing, then you can... Alright, let's see, I think I can keep it like that. If you can cut the lift on one wing... Oh no, that needs to go up. I need to go up more. Alright, shit, we're kind of coming in at a very wonky angle here. Yeah, if you decrease lift on one side, that's essentially how standard ailerons work, is they decrease lift on one wing and increase it on the... Yeah, we're... Okay, we need to climb just a bit, because we cannot make that landing. Not at that angle. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and throttle back up, raise the landing gear. We're going to try and make a turn and head back towards the KSC, since things did not go well attempting to land here. And I believe if we just, basically, I'm going to go ahead and throttle up to maximum. Since we're having a lot of drag and having some trouble maintaining things at this altitude the way we are, I figure getting a little more speed might actually be helpful. Although, actually, come to think of it, we did have stability problems at the higher speed, so maybe not. See, higher speed, the problem is you have more aerodynamic instability, but you also have more thrust vectoring capability because more thrust. So, you know, it's a difficult challenge to balance the two, and that's what I'm trying to do here, essentially. But anyhow, what I was talking about. So an aileron essentially works by increasing lift on one wing by having a control surface move down, and decreases lift on the other wing by having a control surface move up. And the effect allows you to roll. And, you know, of course, that's very useful for turning, and... Whoa, and you typically don't want to do yaw turns like how I was kind of doing just then. But, A spoileron gets its name from the fact that it's a spoiler, which is designed to just completely eliminate lift, or at least, you know, try to reduce lift as much as possible. Spoilers are typically some sort of flap on the top of wing that goes up, and using it for aileron control by not increasing lift on one wing and decreasing it on the other, but just decreasing lift, on one wing. And so the F-14, interestingly enough, uses spoilerons to control itself. In fact, we're going pretty fast. I'm gonna... Actually, no, let's keep the throttle up a bit higher. Maintain the speed. We're holding pretty steadily right now. I'm trying to turn a bit more and actually pitch up a little more because we're falling too much for my liking. I'd like to get further, well, obviously to land. I'd like to get to land and then try and land. And where was I? So yeah, the F-14, it has one single large flap surface along the back of the wings that it uses for landing, as, you know, flaps, which are used to increase lift, so that when you're at a lower airspeed you can still keep flying. And it doesn't use those flaps as ailerons. It uses its spoilers for that roll control. I believe it can also use the vertical stabilizers, the tail plane. I'm not sure about that though. In any case, this version is, well, you'll see why it's like it is when I get to that part. But first, let's see if we can land this crippled plane the way it is. In fact, this video is just going to be me landing this, essentially, and also apologizing for not having a video today. I'd like to explain why I didn't have a video today. You're seeing this tomorrow, not today, from my perspective. But, yeah, essentially... Oh, God. Yay. Alright. Essentially, what it comes down to is... Ooh, that was a bit rough. Alright, cutting the engine. Hoping we can maintain steady, keeping it steady. Alright. I might want to strut this here. See that? The way that's bouncing along. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and activate the brakes now. Oh dear! Oh dear! Fuck! And fortunately, you might remember the... Holy shit. Oh my god. Yeah, they're dead. He's dead. Hey, I don't care if the game says he's alive, he's dead. That mod, Kerbal Crash System, that I mentioned as being pretty freaking cool. Hold on, let's take a look at this landing gear, because it's pretty fucked up too. Actually, no, it's... Well, the landing gear, it's... Oh, yeah, there we go. There's where it's horribly bent. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Jesus. He's dead. That was an unsuccessful landing. I don't care if the game says he's alive. Just look at that cockpit. Yeah, Kerbal Crash System. Part deformation and cooler crashes, in my opinion, because of this. So worth it. Damn. Alright, so basically, I kind of don't want to go into detail too much, but my girlfriend had to go in for surgery today. Kind of serious. I mean, it's surgery. Surgery's always serious. But at the same time, it's not too big a deal, but still, it had me extremely worried for all of well, not all of yesterday, but like most of yesterday, all night. I barely slept, and quite a good part of today. She's doing well, you know, everything's fine. I'm, you know, feeling better now because everything's fine, but still, it was, you know, it's and I'm still a little so yeah. So, where was I? So yeah, here's a quick little video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. It was pretty fun just now to have that happen. Basically, I clipped the tower of the SPH. I clipped the tower as I was flying, and I narrowly avoided crashing, and then was like, okay, time to record, because I just took a wing off an aircraft. Every time I take a wing off an aircraft, I have to record. This has got to be like, what, the 5th or 7th or something time that I've done that, and it's always fun to see what happens. And also, it looks like a piece of us survived over there. Yeah, you might see this as F-14 Whip 13. You can't... Oh wait, no, you can see it because you can't see my mouse. I can't see where it says 13, but you can. Anyhow, so yeah, I should probably go back to regularly scheduled content pretty soon, but then again, due to the whole like surgery and problems things and some other stuff recently kind of getting in my way of doing recording, I was not ready, was not really like prepared to do videos like I should have been, and next week is the first week of school, so I will be crazy busy. I'd like to mention real quick that itch.io, I had games on there. I have them back on there. I don't want to talk about why they weren't on there for a while, but that was the thing, and they're back now. And let's see what else. And yeah, so go click that or whatever, when I do the little outro thing, check that stuff out. It's kind of cool. That's kind of why I want you to check it out, but whatever. Oh, and by the way, this is kind of a backhanded compliment, but I'd like to thank that one dude who was confused about what an elevon is on one of my other videos, because him being confused about elevons made me go read up about different types of control surfaces, and it reminded me about the fact that the F-14 has spoilerons for its controls, and made me want to, make an F-14 and fly it around and do stuff like that. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you in space.